Mile is probably what this one wants to do. You're getting 4-1, actually the third choice here. And the other horse from the rail, who we'll talk about in a moment, a little bit more of a grinding type of closer as well.
Yeah, and I think she can be a little more tactical, the 8 Modern Sound. With that outside post, Flavian astutely wanted to slot behind and not get caught wide into that first turn. There was some minor trouble in that spot. Modern Sound with Chris Block, went back and forth with Rudy Brisset, went back and forth. Now Maker, I think, is convinced that we're going to stay at this. Finally, 2 times in a row going a mile as opposed to sprint to route, which is what she was doing a bunch as a 3-year-old.
Virgin Colada showed a nice turn of foot when she broke the maiden at first gasking way back in July of last year. Stakes placed, grade 2 placed, ran in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies turf, but hasn't gotten back in the win column since. The additional blinkers, it'll be interesting to see if this one gets up a little bit closer early on from the rail post. I would think that's what the connections are thinking and hoping.
Yeah, it's been a good move for the Maker barn. Love her lots. That's what she did in the finale yesterday. Claimed by Maker. Blinkers go on. That's what we saw from the second place finisher in the Good Mojo race. First time claim. Switch distances as well for her and put blinkers on. I think you want to see sharp work tabs. That's my feel that I'm gaining from the Maker barn when they're working sharp and you're seeing the bullets. It is a positive signal, definitely getting bet that way. I just didn't see her as good as Cliff's in that Saratoga effort. She did go mid-pack, no cover, not ideal. She's going to get cover. She's going to get that inside trip. But she didn't show me too much in the lane. It was a wire-to-wire winner, etc. So new barn, blinkers on, some very Fione, Laura Lynn, Lake Victoria. You can't name 3 better fillies in terms of turf. So she's had some serious company lines, and she's getting bet above my Maker pick in here.
We got to see exclusive star at Keeneland, sprinting on the dirt, then here at Churchill on the turf, then at Fairgrounds in January on the turf where the horse broke the maiden. Didn't think that was the strongest field necessarily that day. Looked okay doing it, I thought, but then disappeared until April. Ran again in October, so some, spotty running lines. Gets to run 2 times in a row and has a little bit of tactical speed. So this will be the other one, Kevin, because if one of these 4 that we've talked about doesn't win, you got bombs everywhere else. Any of those would be very surprising to me.
Yeah, I think you're bringing up the major point for this filly, that she hasn't been able to string 2 races in a row for a long time since she did break her maiden from Churchill to Fairgrounds. She seemed leg weary at the end. She grew a little tired. No excuses in that Modern Sound race, just not much late at all. But I think she'll be a little more fit for this. And she had an excuse there at Keeneland. She went way too fast early. 22 and 1, 46 and 2, going a mile and 16th. She finished up the track. So it was closer's race flow. She's got this outside spot with the scratch of the 4. This might be our front runner.
With Luis Saez, too.
Yeah.
So that would make sense. This one would go forward. Mentioned just moments ago, I would be surprised if one of the 4 that we've talked about doesn't win. Of the huge bombs that are left, any of these strike your fancy as far as at least utilizing in the gimmicks.
Ticking Time Blonde, the 3, and number 4, Sheila's Lion. Begin with Sheila's Lion. She had excuses ahead of that maiden breaking score, going a mile and 3/16 at Colonial Downs. Went to Old Dominion Oaks, didn't run all that well. She was headstrong on October 10th, still trying late, got in tight on the rail. I liked her effort there. Is the mile going to work for her? They've been trying to go longer. She might pack a very nice punch. We saw DeSormo with Giacoso trying to go longer, then really set on that mile. So I think Sheila's Lion is interesting, and then Ticking Time Blonde. She had some excuses. Finally, they're stretching out back to the main track. Vicky Oliver's Not This Time filly draws very nicely here. She could be very effective at this mile distance. So I think those 2 have a look if you did want to fade the likely logicals in here.
I'll just throw in the 7B. Cat, got a little bit of a soft spot in my heart for this one. And Axel Concepcion riding great. Another one that wants to be forward. I think we're going to have
Gabe Saez up.
Gabe Saez is up now?
I saw that, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I think this one, helps assure a reasonably honest pace.
I was forgetting about her in terms of a reasonably honest pace, yeah. The break will be big for her, and Gabe can be aggressive with his mount. So she moved forward last out. It was at Belterra Park, looking at the sheets. It's more impressive than the speed figure is telling you. But again, as I always say, can we trust those thoroughbred figures that we get from Belterra Park? I don't quite trust them.
Race 7, $3 late pick 3, low 15% takeout on the turf. Get involved.
And the horses have crossed onto the turf course. They're on the way to the gate, less than a minute. And the horses have reached the starting gate, post time. Waiting for Less is Best, Sheila's Lion, and Exclusive Star. They're in the gate, and they're off. Tickin' Time Blonde breaks out well, and so does B-Cat. The two of them will lead by us the first time. Sheila's Lion comes on with Less is Best. They're now third and fourth as B-Cat takes charge of the first turn. But a couple of rivals race up outside, and Less is Best and Sheila's Lion. They're second and third. And now Exclusive Star races up to grab fourth. Tickin' Time Blonde settles in toward the rail fifth. Cliffs at mid-pack sixth. Climbing is Virgin Colada in seventh. Modern Sound is eighth. And Romany Road is the early trailer. They're on the back stretch. The opening quarter in 24-1. So B-Cat leads the way and is unopposed down the backstretch. Sheila's Line settled nicely second outside. Less is Best tucked inside, while third will save ground to the far turn as well. Exclusive Star just off the pace, racing in fourth. Tickin' Time Blonde down inside fifth. Cliffs comes up on that one's outside, about 4.5 lengths off the lead now. Virgin Colada has settled just a bit more, but is still keen on the far turn and angles outside. Farther back, Modern Sound starts to pick it up. A lot of ground to make up there, though, as they come for the top of the stretch. B-Cat turns him in. B-Cat off the turn in front. Exclusive Star comes charging off the turn and is up for the lead, heading for the eighth pole, but will have to deal with Cliffs. Cliffs runs up into second and is coming after Exclusive Star. Modern Sound late on the scene. Exclusive Star's in front. Cliffs is surging late. Wire coming quickly. These two on the wire together. Noses up and down. Exclusive Star or Cliffs. Modern Sound third and Less is Best fourth. 2 Cliffs first, 10 Exclusive Star second. 8 Modern Sound was third. 5 Less is Best was fourth. The number 7 Beat Cat fifth, not official. There is a rider's objection in this race. A rider's objection concerning the runner-up, number 10 Exclusive Star. From number 9, Sheila's Lion, around the 8th pole. Once again, a rider's objection concerning the runner-up, not official.